What's up, everybody? My name is Jordan Comstock. I'm the founder and CEO of BoomCloud. With me, I got Dustin Rock, the VP of Sales for BoomCloud. And today, we want to talk to you guys about why using BoomCloud versus doing it yourself when it comes to creating and growing in-house membership programs. Okay, just pause for a little bit. We'll cut that out.
Deal.
Okay, number one, work smarter, not harder. Too many business owners, especially in dentistry, are extremely busy. And that goes for office managers. I'm sure you see that. Dustin talks to office managers every day. But they're extremely busy. Why add another thing for them to manage full time? Especially if you're doing it yourself, you most likely don't have a complete or efficient system that your office manager can manage, right? A lot of the times I've seen practices use binders or Excel docs where it's really hard to manually manage everything. So why work so hard to manage your membership program when you can have a system doing all these little tasks? Another example I've seen out there is practices I've seen use the binders where the office manager would call each month and flip through that binder each month and call patients to get permission to run their cards for the membership program. Not very efficient, takes a lot of time.
And a lot of times you're storing someone's financial data
on a piece of paper. Yeah.
Piece of paper, not the most secure system I've ever seen.
Yeah, so there's a PCI compliance issues when you're doing that. Even if you're doing that on Google Docs, it's big time PCI compliance. And if you don't know what PCI compliance is, it's just basically regulations with payment data, right? So that's a good point. You can't store payment information on pieces of paper or Google Docs because it's just not secure enough. Anyone can rip a piece of paper out and steal that financial information, right? The other thing is, why pay salaries or hourly rates, FICA, taxes, and all those things that come when you have an internal employee? Why pay that person all that money and all those fees to manually manage a membership program when you can just spend a low monthly fee on a software that's going to help you do it?
I agree.
Right.
I like steak, but it doesn't mean I want to have to go find a cow, cut it up, do all the work myself, and package it when I can just have someone who knows what they're doing do it for me.
Yeah.
And just enjoy the benefits of it and save myself a lot of time that I would have spent or money that I would have spent doing that.
Well, it brings up another tip, right? Your office manager or team is not 100% focused on creating the best system for your in-house membership program. Here at BoomCloud, this is all we do.
Yeah.
Our team, we have a development team, we have a customer success team. We have weekly meetings about how to make our system better for the practices, right? So our attention, 100% of our attention is focused on enhancing that system.
We think so much about this, I have dreams about it, unfortunately. That's how much we
Me too,
care
dude.
about membership programs. It's probably
We're dreaming about them.
Yeah.
That's good. So another thing I want to bring up is the importance of having an actual system, right? Now, I talked about binders. Binders is a system, but it's a very inefficient system, right? So if an office manager is doing it in their head, or a team member is doing it in their head, or on sticky notes, or a binder, well, what happens if you fire that office manager or staff member, or they quit, or they just become lazy and don't want to do it anymore? What happens? Well, the program will fail in your office, and if your manager quits, well, then all that information goes with her or him, and you can't continue managing your membership program.
I actually had a situation with this where I did a demo with an office a while back, and their office manager, I think, decided to manage it on her own and left, and then they were kind of stuck. She's left, we're not quite sure how we're supposed to be doing this, and they decided they needed to revisit using BoomCloud so they could have a system in place to avoid an issue like that.
Yeah, because it does, especially when you get like hundreds of members, which can easily happen, it becomes very challenging to manage, right? And the more members you get, I hope everyone wants to get more members when they have a membership program. The more members you get, the more challenging it is. So why rely on? You can't scale your team, your office manager and your team in the office. You can't scale that as easy as you can a software solution like what we're doing in the industry.
Well, to me, and there's no point in going through and reinventing the wheel. If you have someone who's already put a system in place for that, take advantage of that. Don't spend all the time trying to do a system you hope that's better. And it's not to be said there aren't offices out there who put memberships in place that work well for them.
Yeah.
But I've spoken with some that have very large, like in the thousands of members, that still say they refer people to us because they know that the average office might not have the system or the time or the success that they've had of trying to put their own in place, and they still refer them and say, I would recommend going through a software and using a service that's going to help you with that versus trying to figure it out.
Yeah, perfect. So if you think about it, our service is really like $9.90 per day.
Yeah.
Like it's not that expensive for an office versus, like my example earlier, versus paying FICA and taxes and salaries or hourly rates. You're just paying like $9.90 a day. It's really cheap.
And let's be honest, the person you'd pay $9.90 a day to manage it probably wouldn't do it that great if they're working like $1 an hour. So we're the cheapest, smartest employee you can get.
Perfect, yeah. And then the last thing I want to talk about is if you're doing a membership program by yourself, in-house, you're probably not automating payments and all that fun stuff there, which brings to the point where you probably don't really have a membership program. It's almost there, but if you can automate payments, whether they're monthly or yearly, and collect those through ACH or credit cards, then you're more likely to have a successful, efficient membership program versus trying to call patients or wait for a patient to come in to renew. Yeah. You've seen this. I know you probably have something that you're going to say about that.
Yeah, that's probably one of the most common things I deal with is offices, especially if they're just doing annual plans and they say, well, I can do this on my own. We actually get a lot of calls in from offices that have went that route, but what they end up having is they find out when their year mark hits, we're not getting people renewed at the time we're supposed to. In fact, I would say usually the average is about a 3 or 4 month delay from when patients' plan expired to when they're actually getting them renewed. Which in all actuality, it's when are they getting them renewed? When they come in for their next cleaning and their plan's expired. And yet, next thing you know, they've missed out on a third of a year's revenue from a membership because it wasn't automated. So that's even just on the annual side, but then I also get a lot of offices that have, even if they've done well with offering annual plans, hit like a plateau where it's, we only have this many members and we only have so many patients we want to appeal this to, and we want to go monthly and offer a monthly plan option for those that can't afford the annual plan.
Yeah.
But they already know from doing theirs on their own that trying to scale to doing monthly payments on their own is just something they don't want to take on. It's going to be too daunting. So for them, it's getting past that. We're stuck at this level. We want more members. We want to make it more affordable, but we don't want to try to figure out how to do all this on our own. And they recognize, hey, we might have been able to manage it so far, but adding this element that's going to bring in more patients and more members, we need assistance with it.
Perfect. So just to recap, work smarter, not harder. Don't pay FICA, salaries, and taxes on something that you don't need to with your employees, especially with companies like us. Or keep in mind that...
Unless you want to pay for my health benefits.
I mean, yeah, you can pay for his health benefits. I mean, we can start charging for health benefits, right? I'm just teasing.
I need a lot of dental work, so it might not be that good of a deal for you.
Yeah, so don't pay FICA and salaries and all that if you want to manage a membership program. It just seems like a no-brainer decision if you ask me. The importance of a system, make sure you've got the systems in place, and if a staff member leaves or quits, that you have access to BoomCloud, right? You would have access to your own login and everything, and the program would continue going versus if a team member left, it would really throw a wrench in things. And then make sure you automate your payments and recurring revenue. If you're not doing that, then it's not really a membership program. The key is to generate predictable recurring revenue for your practice to increase the value and increase the headaches of cash flow or to decrease the headaches of cash flow management.
You want your team on board, and with an office manager, let's be honest, if you just say, hey, as the doctor, I want to give you another task to do on top of everything else, you're not going to want to do that.
Yeah.
Like, what are the odds you're going to be really excited? Like, oh, good, I was bored. I was hoping for more things to do. We kind of hinted at that of the idea of whether you're hiring someone on, but a lot of times you can't hire someone on, so you're just throwing another task on them. You might be pumped as a doctor about offering a membership, but your office manager's like, I don't want to do this. Is it as likely to get done? Probably not. You want them excited, and if you give them a tool to help accomplish this, and now it seems like, hey, you're not making my workday harder, you're making my job easier.
Yeah.
And we've seen it countless times. If you don't have your full team on board, it's hard to make that work. And so when you're providing them a tool that's going to make it easier, you want to take advantage of that, and you're going to have a team that's more likely be behind you with this and supporting you in starting.
So that is our video today. I hope you guys learned a few things here. If you want to see or talk to anyone from my team to schedule a demo, you can do so on our website, www.boomcloudapps.com. You can click the schedule demo link up top and do a live demo to see how our software will be a fit for your practice.